Hey YouTubers, well I got another video review for you. So last month you seen me do the review on the Chinrose service cart, and I took and I made a pressure washer cart out of it and put all my cleaning supplies for the car and the pressure washer and all that kind of stuff and kind of modified it. And so the same company reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in reviewing their adjustable height table for working on cars, you know, like the little tables, you know, that you slide up close to the car and lay your wrench down beside it when you're working up under the hood and all that. So that's what we have here today. And so I just wanted to do a quick unboxing. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on it, but just wanted to show you how it comes. The name of the company is called Chinrose. They're a Chinese company. Got it off of Amazon. Anyways, I was really impressed with their cart that they sent me. It was really good quality, and I thought, sure, I'll test this out. You guys know me, I love tools. And anyways, I'll show you guys a tool that I found this last week. This is something I found on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, but this is a Snap-on 1/2-inch breaker bar. And it says Snap-on #1 Milwaukee, USA. So paid $10 for a whole toolbox. The box was full of tools, and it was old tools, and this was the first thing that I pulled out. You know, stay tuned, because I'll show you what all I got in that video. It should be coming out pretty soon. But back to the Chinrose work table. They got them on Amazon. Whenever I make this video, I'm not sure what they'll be priced at. You know, prices on things go up and down on Amazon every day. But what makes this little work table special is it does have some pegboard on the side of it, so you can hang some of your wrenches and tools and things like that. Plus you got the top tray where you can set all your stuff down, and your stuff that you're working with, you know, your tools, and you know, if you got nuts and bolts, you can put them on top of that tray. But anyways, I just wanted to show you what it looks like once you pull it out of the box. This thing here weighs about 40-50 pounds, and everything comes in there nicely packed. You've got some pegs for the pegboard, and then you've got some sort of handle. Wasn't expecting that. I figured that would be plastic, you know how everything is made cheap these days. But the frame of this cart, you can see that it is steel, and the powder coat finish on it looks really good. I don't see any scratches on this piece here. And then this other piece here, same thing, it's just got some styrofoam on it. It does have some swivel casters, and it looks like the two on the ends are going to be lockable. And then you got the base frame, and this will be the part that sticks upward, and where you can adjust the height of the cart. You just pull this little spring-loaded piece out and lower it down, and then it locks into the different holes that's already lined up on the inside of there. So this is your vertical piece, and you can see that they've got some gussets mounted here at the bottom to make it strong. And I mean, guys, there ain't no way you're gonna break that. The steel is pretty thick. It looks like it's about 1/8 of an inch. And the welds look pretty good. It's not welded on the top, but it's got some heavy welds here on the side. So yeah, it does look like it's really well made. But you can see here's the end piece where I was saying that it was pegboard. And then you got the name right in there. And guys, this is it's like painted on. So if you don't want that down there, you could easily get that off with probably like a plastic razor blade. You know, it don't bother me. I know some of you are picky about what it says. And yeah, seems like a pretty thick piece of metal. It's not flimsy or flapping, but it does have a nice finish on it. And all that's left is this top tray piece. And there were some rubber pieces that I've already pulled out that fits in the top tray to keep it from getting all scratched up. Now, it looks like I'm missing some of the hardware, maybe one bolt, but some of it had tipped out in the box. So that might be, you know, a good video to let Chinrose know to package that hardware just a little bit better, just so it don't get lost. I don't think it's anything major, but I believe it's probably missing like a little tiny bolt for maybe the handle or something. I believe that's what that went into. There was only one. So all right, so this is the top of the tray where you would set all your tools and everything, and they've got it divided off in little cubby areas. And I gotta say, this piece here is pretty heavy. It's got some weight to it, and you can see right here on the edges, they're not flimsy. They've got the metal where it's folded over to give it more strength, and this thing is really well put together. Corners here, they have like a little bumper protector on them. You can see what they look like here. That's just to keep from, you know, bumping into the vehicle that you're working on and scratching the paint or something. But this is the bottom side, and you can see that this is all steel tubing, and it's been welded together, and there's a plate right in here where it attaches to the adjustable vertical arm. But I just wanted to mention that that plate right there, that's 1/8 inch steel or better. But I gotta say, this thing it's built pretty good. It seems to be heavy duty. Now with the hardware, like I said, some of it was missing. You know, I think that was for the handle, but I have some extra hardware and stuff, so I thought, well, I'll go get in my little hardware bin. But when I went to look at the instructions, it showed that it come with the 4 bolts that bolted the vertical piece on right here. So I thought, well, since I've got some extra flat washers, I was gonna just put the flat washers on, and that way to give it a little bit more strength. But it doesn't come with flat washers. I'm just adding these for my own personal benefit. Maybe if Chinrose sees this, they might add the flat washers, who knows, but it's not no big deal. All right, I just wanted to show right in here, you can see, I mean, that's thick plate right there, guys. It's got a weld all the way around. The way that this piece fits on here is just like this. It's gonna sit on there just like that on top of that plate. And then, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and use these flat washers, and you don't have to worry about holding the back of a nut or anything. It's already tapped. That plate is tapped, so you know, you just fit your bolt right on there. It takes a 10mm wrench to tighten these up. Now, if you're wondering if you hear some rattling, it's because of this piece right here. You know, there has to be some sort of movement so this pin can be slid out and you can adjust it. All right, so we're gonna put on this lower bar here, and this is the one that has the casters on it. We're just gonna line it up right here, and we've got these little bolts, and again, like I said, I had some flat washers, so I'm going to go ahead and use them. And you can see this piece is threaded, so whenever I go to thread that bolt in there, I don't have to worry about trying to, you know, hold the back of a nut. The piece is actually threaded, and it makes it hooking it up easier if you can get in there and line it up. There we go. So I gotta say, the threads in it seem like they're pretty good. They went in there easy. So one thing that I wanted to point out, and you guys know I'll always shoot you straight, from the factory, they put the locking casters on the part that goes up underneath the car, that slides up underneath the car, which made no sense. The locking casters need to go on the back side, so when you push it up underneath the car, you lock the casters so it don't slide into the car and scratch the bumper or whatever. And so what we're gonna do is just go ahead and take the casters off. We went ahead and just removed them. What you'll have to do is hold the upper part and kind of pinch it, and you'll feel the lower part, and then they just unscrew. Like I said, all the tubing has been threaded, so you can unscrew these. But you know, now's a good time since you're unscrewing them and they're right there in your face. If you wanted to, you could take and go ahead and grease the casters. You can see that there's little ball bearings in there, and you could take, you know, a little needle attachment on a grease gun, squirt a little grease down in there, and go ahead and lubricate them. I mean, they do have some in it, but you know, I'll probably see if I can find something to lube them with. I mean, even though they do seem they're perfect, that's just me being OCD like I am. But we'll set these aside. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the locking ones, and I'm gonna switch them, and I'll come back once I'm done. All right, so we went ahead and flipped the cart over right side up, and you guys can see that, you know, this thing is pretty stout. I mean, it really is. It's got a hole on each side to mount this handle, but I got to thinking about it. I was like, you know, that don't make much sense since you got these little bumpers here to keep from scratching the car that you're working on. I didn't think that it would make much sense to, you know, mount the handle there, because it's going to stick out further and probably scratch something up. So I'm not going to add this. I'm going to use it on something else. And so these little screw holes are so tiny, you know, you could take and put something else there, you know, like a little rubber bumper or something, you know, but I'm not going to use them. So I just didn't figure that it made much sense. Now, I went ahead and moved those casters around, like I said, and put the locking casters here in the back, so once you slide it up underneath the car, you can lock the casters and it doesn't slide in and hit the front of the car, scratch the paint, or none of that. Now, it did come with some mats that goes in the tray. Man, they're pretty well made mats. They're really thick. I figured that they would be thinner than that and cheaply made, but they feel actually pretty thick. So I'm impressed with the thickness of those mats. Then it comes with a couple other mats to fit into these little trays here. And again, these are just as thick as these over here. And then once you get your mats put in there, you've got a mat for the side over here. Now, you don't have to put the mat in this side. Let's say you want to put screwdrivers and pry bars and stuff down on this side, you don't have to put the mat. Or if you wanted to take the extra time and lay the mat in there and then trace it up from the bottom on the bottom of the mat and cut the circles out with an X-Acto knife, you could do that, and that way you would have a mat on all the sides. You know, you don't have to. And these mats here, you just got to work them down in there for them to fit really good. But I gotta say, you know, it does provide some protection to keep the cart from getting scratched up and everything, you know, rusting and all that. They do serve their purpose, and I do like the way that they look in there. There's a side piece right here that I showed you in the beginning, and you can see that it's just got like a little piece that folds over, and you just hook it in there. And then next, they give you a pack of these pegs. If you remember last month when I did the video on the tool cart, it had some pegboard on there, and I used these same style pegs. So if you guys ended up getting the tool cart and you got some leftover pegs, you could use it on here. But these are square pegs, so the way that they fit in there is just very simple. It just fits in up at the top, and then you just kind of push them in at the bottom. And these are pretty stout pegs. Probably hang a wrench here and hit wrench there, all the way down, and put the rest of your tools up here on the top. And then, you know, they've got a lot of magnetic tool storage as well. You know, on Amazon and everywhere else, you can buy a lot of magnetic tool storage to hook in. You could even hook some on the front of the bar right here where my hand is if you wanted to, just to kind of be out of the way if you want to mount some sockets there, or if you just want to leave them up here in the cubbies. I mean, literally, you could load this thing down with tools. Yeah, this is a pretty nice little workstation. I'm pretty impressed with it, especially for $100. All right, so I just wanted to let you guys know that it comes with 10 of these pegs. You know, the way that they're made, they don't fit so close to the cart, so they do stick out a little bit. And I like that, and I'll tell you why. And, you know, for me, you know, if it fit real close to the cart, when you go to move it, the wrenches are going to be banging up against this metal piece. Well, with these pegs, the way that they're made, you can't push the wrench right up on it, so they're not going to be hitting this unless you just really move it hard. You know, they said that it weighs about 44 pounds on Amazon. It comes in 3 different colors. It comes in a red and black, and then a yellow and black, and a green and black. So they do have some of the hottest colors that most of you will probably want to match your toolboxes and things like that. And like I said, if you don't want the name here on the side, you could always take that off. And as far as the width on the top of the tray here, it measures 31.5 long from side to side, and front to back it's 19 5/8. And this little tray here on the side measures 4 inches, and the little trays here on this side measure 4 inches wide and 9 inches long. And as far as the height, now right now I have it set to the lowest height, and to the very top edge right in here, that's 3 foot tall. Now I can also go up underneath it and adjust it, and you can see right here, right there, that's, and you can just pull that spring loaded right there, so you just pull that out, and then you can take and raise the cart up. Now if you're working on a lifted vehicle, then gosh, you got plenty enough clearance. I mean, I can fit up underneath here. And I just wanted to make mention to the very top edge of this tool workstation, whatever you want to call it, 53 3/4 tall. Now obviously you're not going to have that much ground clearance because of this metal bar that runs under here, but I'll get you a measurement on that so you'll know exactly how much ground clearance. Looks like you're going to have about 50 7/8 of total ground clearance. That's pretty amazing. And then you can see that there's a lot of adjustment right in here. There's adjustable holes, so you can pull this little spring-loaded pin out and raise this up or lower it down to whichever position that you want. It's not hard to do. Just lower it down like that, and it just falls into place, And so anyways, I gotta say this thing rolls good and it moves good, and you know, it's very versatile. So I've never seen another workstation like this that, you know, had a pegboard on it. So I do like that feature, and I think it looks really good. Doesn't seem flimsy at all. And you know, if you want to take this off, you don't have to have this on here. Let's just say you don't like this, just take it off. Use that somewhere else. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys, you know, I've got my wrenches set up here now. Obviously, this ain't set up like the way that I would use it, but I just wanted to show you how big this tray actually is. I mean, I've got a wrench set right there. You know, if I wanted to leave these out to work on it and have some other stuff, tools up here and bolts and nuts and all that kind of stuff, you know, you've got plenty enough cubby areas to set stuff. And you can see I've got that snap-on breaker bar right there. And, you know, I gotta say, I'm 6'1", and, you know, I don't have this thing set to the tallest setting. I mean, it's about probably a middle waist, and this thing is, I think that I would use this mostly for is, you know, working under the hood, but also I think it would be very handy, you know, for soldering. So I can't see that good anymore, so I want something that's going to be, you know, higher up, you know, workstation where I can, you know, rest my arms and solder. And I think that that would be, you know, a good place to be able to make your solder connections on wires and things like that. And, you know, there's going to be some wobble in it side to side, but that's just because it's adjustable, you know, so it's not going to fit in there completely perfect and be no wobble in it. There's going to be some wobble, but it doesn't bother me because you've got these little bumpers on all four corners. It's not like it's going to just hit something and scratch it up. You know, there is some protection there. Now, you could take it a step further and put some padding here up underneath on that little support arm, you know, so when you slide it up underneath the car, it don't scratch a bumper or something like that. And that's probably what I'll do, is take maybe like a big pool noodle and cut a slit in it and put it over that and leave it open where you can get to the adjustment, but, you know, have enough padding there where it won't scratch your car. And it did come with a, you know, pretty detailed instructions. Everything was easy to understand, so, you know, I do appreciate that. Now, when I got it, I didn't have to spend a lot of time doing the Literally, you can have this thing put together in under probably 10 minutes if I didn't have to remove the casters. So, you know, there's really nothing to it. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I know this wasn't much of a review, but when I, you know, company that makes good products, that's affordable, messages me and asks me if I want to do a review on it, then sure. But again, I don't mind pointing out some of the things that, you know, don't make sense, like the handle. I didn't really think that the handle made sense on this end. And the casters, I think they were on the wrong end. They needed to be moved towards the back. So that way when you push it up underneath the car, you can mash down and lock those casters, and then you can pull up to unlock them. All right, you can see right there, does its job, it locks. And then when you want to unlock it, you just pull up, and now it's free. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I'll put a link for it down in the description. I am an Amazon affiliate, so, you know, I do get like a tiny little bit of commission for it, but again, you know, I still tell it like it is. You know, you don't buy it if you don't want it. I mean, and if there's something wrong with it, you can always send it back to Amazon. They get a good return policy. But I think you guys will see whenever you get it that it's a good quality tray, and it's built really well. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll try to bring you more content here as soon as I can. Until next time, see ya.